we are doing a build video for our Medieval Color Legacy Challenge. Specifically, we are doing the Generation 6 light blue build. Now, Fleur, until this point, has been living in the barracks with the other knights, but she reached level 5, which means she's landed now. This was an experience for me, because I had to fight with Homecrafter so much. In the end, I didn't get it to work. I'm gonna try a couple other things, but I was able to get Simpete to work. I just needed to make a wallpaper. And you'd think this would be a simple task. It was not. But I saw my inspiration image was basically, it was like this coastal little tiny house, but it basically had blue, oh god, words are hard. It was stone, but it had blue mortar. And it was just so cute, and I was just like, I've never seen anything like that. I would love to do that for Fleur's house, where she has this big stone house, but the mortar is blue. It's still not perfect and like tiled. It looks a little strange, but like, I don't care. I don't care. I got what I wanted. So because she's meant to throw like a lot of parties, I was a little bit torn because I didn't want her to have a giant like manor house, because she's not meant to be like noble. She is a landed knight, which is why you see there's like protective walls around her house and decorative trees and stuff, but like she's not over here living a big life. So my solution was kind of, I built her little keep, but I also, there's this side building that she had that's basically a party barn, and then that little one-story bit is going to be like her office. Her house itself is actually pretty small. It's only 2-bedroom, but she is meant to like disinherit her oldest child, and I still haven't decided if that means they will not be our heir or if that means that they are gonna kind of move forward without family. Haven't decided. But they could potentially, their room will be out in the barn, maybe. Like I could put a loft in, or she could take over, or they're not even born yet. We've had a lot of girl heirs. Not even on purpose, like, we just have. But yeah, like they could take over the office and that could be their living space. I grabbed wallpapers ahead of time just because there were so many. I really wanted to use this. I never use these though, these 2-tile door looking things. Like they're so pretty, and I just, I don't know how to use them effectively. It's definitely a skill issue. I really wanted to use these, but like I was starting to get too many shades of blue and I felt like it was a little bit too green. But they're from Skyrim and I love them a lot. But I was just like, that's too much. It's too much. You're doing too much. Because the color is light blue, so I've tried to like be careful about the shades that I use. Even the one on the barn is a little bit dark, but yeah, I think it's fine. Because yeah, Fleur still has some things to do. Well, not some things, she's got a few. She still needs to throw 4 more roof raisers. She's thrown 1 already. She has 1 super BFF. She needs to have and maintain 1 more. She's also going to become a grilled cheese sim as an elder, which I think is hilarious. She needs to unlock the career reward for being in the athletics career, which is what I do with my knights. She's to obviously top that career. If she inherits any businesses from her family, which so far she hasn't, she has to sell them. And then she has to care for all of her relatives. I have decided not to move in her half-siblings at this point, but I will move in her parents, because she has to care, well, not her parents. If one of her parents has, like, one of them dies and the other one's still alive, because it's all unmarried relatives. And they are not allowed to move out. So this place could get really cramped very quickly if that happens. I'm hoping she doesn't have a ton of kids, but you know, we'll see what happens. She does need to have, technically I said son, so disinherit her oldest son for being a supernatural. So if the firstborn's a girl, that will be our heir. Maybe. I don't necessarily go with the first one. Usually it's my favorite, to be honest, but the oldest son is going to be disinherited for becoming supernatural because Fleur does not like supernaturals. She has the supernatural skeptic trait and just not a fan. She also does have a horse, which we do put in a pasture for it, and then across I have some deco stuff to show more horses. Because this generation is allowed to have horses and like sell them if they really desperately need to. And yeah, she needs to buy a title. Which is going to be, what is that? Oh, my neighbors are being loud. But yeah, she needs $50K for that, which her parents already pretty much have. I don't know though, like moving into this house, it's going to be expensive. And my inspiration image had like this gatehouse looking thing to the backyard, and I was like, I want that. And I wanted like a pretty, not necessarily a hedge maze, but like a hedge strolling location. So I wanted to make sure that they had a way to access that, and of course I had to make this one more bigger because heaven forbid the Sims be kind and benevolent to us. I'm probably going to leave all those layers above that empty as well because it would ruin the vibe. I love this castle conversion set. I just think it's so good. So good. It's such a big house too. I don't know how I ended up with only 2 beds. I guess because I just was being fancy. Because like that's the thing is she's at this point of her life she's like a landed knight, but like she's not titled. She kind of does need to impress. And so yeah, we're kind of showing up, showing out, but like the cost is their family has 2 bedrooms in the house and they're all gonna have to share. I was so excited that these had kind of like a blue or light blue window, except as you can see it was clipping the roof, and then I discovered if I just turned it around, I struggled with it for a minute, but I discovered if I turned it around and faced it inward, it doesn't look bad, and also there's no more clipping, so I was like, huh. But it takes me a minute of struggling to discover that. I still don't know who Fleur's spouse is going to be. She still really likes Drake as of the last time that I checked in with her. But I know her turn-ons are very skill-based, so I don't know. It's just me struggling with Windows. I mean, I like the Drake sim. I believe he's based on my Wheel of Time Rand sim, so he's super cute, but like, I don't know. Yeah, see, I turned it around and voila, perfect. I don't use these everywhere just because they are really fancy, so like I didn't feel like she should have stained glass everywhere. But for the front of the house, you know, I wanted to use those, but they just didn't look right. And I was like, all right, how about more stained glass? Shall we? I do really like this build. I think it's cute, even though it's small. My tentative plan is to like build on this for the Baron generation, which is what they would have done back in the day. They would have just either added to it so it was bigger, or they would have knocked it down and just used the same spot. But like, now that we're getting into the titled area, they shouldn't be moving around so much. I mean, obviously they could always purchase new manors, that sort of things, but like, it's a decent sized lot and I'd rather keep them on here as long as the game wants to cooperate. I'm gonna put it in the lot bin before I move her in, just so that it's saved in this state. But yeah, ideally that's what I would like to do, is maybe stay here for a generation or 2. I mean, I don't want it to be boring, but there'll be a lot of renovation. I've kind of figured out what the next generation, which is Teal, is gonna do. And they basically want a very expensive home, so worth 250,000 simoleons minimum. Decorated like very tacky, overly opulent, because they're like the nouveau riche kind of thing. I want them to become a patron to a live-in artist, and they have to paint portraits of all family members and a family portrait. I want them to have a bunch of little lap dogs. All their children have to learn class-appropriate skills, so boys have to have 5 body skill points from outdoor activities, 3 interests in fitness, and girls have to have 5 body skill points from dancing, 3 creative skill points from painting or playing piano. And then all of their children will be knowledge sims, and their heir will not marry until they're an elder, which should be interesting. I have been kind of aging up as needed, just because I have a really long age mod in, and I'm like, alright, we don't need to be living hundreds of days. So we might like explore the heir's young life a little bit before aging him to an elder, but yeah, those are my tentative rules for the Baronet. I'm thinking about adding a few more though, because there was some suggestions that were really good, like have really ridiculous clothes and headwear and jewelry, just so that I use that type of CC. Hire a servant of every type. Have a ballroom. Throw debutante parties for every teen. Throw parties for all birthdays. The snob tree. So, and then like someone else said, like the Regency newly rich folk would basically gut their houses and redo everything as a show of wealth. Acts of charity, have like garden and grounds. So there's a lot of like ideas that I'm still toying with. That's why this challenge hasn't been released completed, because a lot of times like, I like to play test, but also like I'll be playing and I'm like, this doesn't work, or I like this but I don't, or oh, I should add this. So that's why I release them like generationally speaking. I don't even have, I don't really think that far ahead. I think on my other computer I have some rules for generation 8, 9, and 10. Because the goal is basically you're going to become royal. And the family has been taken away. My dogs are being so loud downstairs. I'm not looking for, I don't feel good today, and I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. Because we're having a piano tuner come, and I don't know how long they're going to be here. But that means I have to keep the dogs with me, and they're going to throw a fit the whole time. They will not enjoy. Because they love people. They love strangers. And, like, the piano tuner needs it to be quiet. I'm just like, if I have to, I will just take them somewhere. But I live on the surface of the sun in terms of temperature right now, so I don't know where. Those tiles are a bit dark blue, but I have a lot of really nice light blue tile, but like it just didn't make sense to have tile. So I was like, I don't know, I struggled with flooring. I'm still not super satisfied with it. But yeah, like I have a ton of options. It's just they don't look right. I am curious if anybody's played through this or started to play through this challenge at all. Because I love following people who play challenges anyways. It's just enjoyable to me. And I watch, obviously, regular sim content too, but just challenges are fun. As evidenced by the fact that I do so many of them. I really wanted to use that one, but it was bothering me that the planks were so long. I was like, no, I can't do that. I think I struggled so much just because it's so open that they all kind of need, it needs to be the same flooring throughout, whereas normally I can get away with different flooring. I made sure to do the ceilings. I've been forgetting this a lot lately. This was honestly a long build. It took me, I think, 42 minutes, and then that wasn't even decorated. I'm still technically decorating it, but I'm feeling kind of icky today, so I haven't finished it. Huzzah! Look at that ceiling. The hedge maze was a real struggle for me, because there's just not enough space to really do a maze, so it was just more like a hedge walking area, which happens. ever after famously has a whole little hedge walking area at that castle. I also realized I didn't really include like an area for like night training. Like she's not really doing that so much anymore. At this point she's like proven herself, so she doesn't necessarily have to. So I kind of plunked it in there. I really wanted to use this fencing and it wasn't working, so I was like, you know what? Garden, right here. Light blue. Perfect. And it is. I don't necessarily like how the front looks like the stone just goes into nowhere, but like realistically speaking, the carriages will pull up and there would be nothing. I didn't want to put road, was the dilemma there. I didn't want to put road in. So, yeah, as you see, I covered it with neighborhood deco in most spots. It's hard with medieval, like, they didn't have driveways necessarily as we know of them today because they did not drive. Oh my god, now my dog's outside being a menace. Usually she's so good, but she just, every now and then she gets in a mood and she has to yell. And she's so loud. I might have to go intervene. Huh? Did we go quiet? We might be quiet now. It doesn't help that my little puppy is also a menace to society and he's kind of a jerk. Look at that hedge thing. That's awful. But yeah, like he's kind of a menace to society. He'll like bite her and then run away. And so then she'll go to get him and she's not hurting him, but like he does not like to be contained. So then he'll scream really loudly and it sounds like she's murdering him. It's not the funnest time, I'm sure. But I like try to have him behave because I do have neighbors. Richard, don't you start. Now the cat's getting involved. Richard, don't hit the dog. He's so mean. Like, he loves the dogs, but he's mean in general. So he'll come up and he'll be real sweet to him, and all of a sudden he'll remember who he is and that he is an orange cat, and he'll hit him in the face. Not even with claws, just a bap, just to remind them of his power. I really didn't want to put like a garden because they're trying to get away from that, so I put blueberries in because this is blue. Distracted because I have to keep an eye on Richard because occasionally he's a jerk and he's thinking about it. I think he has the brain cell. Although as a positive note, my efforts to trap him in the house have been very successful because he figured out the dog door and I'm like, great, how am I going to keep this animal in my house? We tried magnets, which worked for a while until Richard figured out the magnets, but also the puppy was too small to get through the dog door if the magnets were on there. So we had to take them off. And so now I've resorted to conditioning the cat to be upstairs at a certain time because I'll give him treats. And that's been very effective. And then I lock him in the bathroom. So he stays there at night. And it's worked so far. He does yell immediately after. And he also has reached the point where at 4 o'clock, when the sun's still out, like where he's not supposed to be locked up yet, he's like, will you give me treats now? But it's the best I can do for now. I think it's just because before when I had a dog door, it wasn't like in a sliding glass door. It was just like in a solid door that he couldn't see out of. So I don't think that it occurred to him. But now it's in a big sliding glass door. He sees the dogs out there. He sees us out there when we're sitting outside. Like, he wants to be where we are. So I get it, but also if he could just not. These little flowers, I know it looks like shrubby, but like there is little blue flowers on them. They're from Skyrim. They're so cute. I like I have the death flowers as well, but those have like a broken, overgrown state, so they look weird when they overgrow. But yeah, I just wanted it really decorated, very, look at us, aren't we so fancy? This is a little bit more teal than light blue, but I like them. This is also where I realized I don't have a place to put a horse. So I was kind of thinking about that. Yeah, I really didn't have a ton of like light blue. God, I want to use those sunflowers so badly lately, and I just never, it's never right. It's very upsetting. Maybe someday. There's so many plants in there. It's The Sims, it doesn't matter, but like there's so many plants in there. So yeah, here's where I was like, oh yeah, I need to put a pen up for Paint Pot, who is our horse. And then I wanted to use the really cute cottage living gate because it's blue, but like I didn't like the orange flowers. So I ended up just using a plain horse gate. It's fine. Paint Pot will be happy. And of course we need trees. I love that willow. I overuse it and I don't care. It's beautiful. It deserves to be overused. And then I wanted to put this just because the light blue ribbon's in it. I thought it was pretty. I can't overuse that one though because the ribbons make it a little hard. But yeah, we're basically done. So let me know what you think of this build, if you're excited for Blue Gen to really be in their own house. If you like this video, please give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one.